And then I get a text message. Joe Burrow, I would love for you if you came to the Cincinnati Bengals.
What?
You got to go way back a little bit. When Malcolm Brown was drafted to the Patriots, I got a text message that night, the night of the draft, and it was like, hey, Rob, it's Malcolm Brown. Pleasure to be on your team. It's an honor to be your teammate. And I wrote back like, man, great to have you on. And then eventually that night called the number. It was not Malcolm Brown. So I got duped. It was just a random fan, and they duped me to answer back. Fast forward, I was like, I ain't ever going to let that shit happen to me ever again. I ain't answering random numbers. Like after I retired, everyone's still trying to get me to play, ask me questions in the media when I had to do some media rounds. You're like, yo, who is the quarterback that you would love to play with? I'm like, Joe Burrow, because he reminds me of Brady, and I just love the way that he presents himself in the pocket. Went everywhere. And then I get a text message. Yo, Gronk, what's up, man? I saw you talking about me in the media. It's Joe Burrow. I would love for you if you came to the Cincinnati Bengals. I was like, I ain't getting got
what?
Again. I'm like, I ain't getting got again. Like this is nuts. Like I ain't falling for this shit. I thought it was cool as shit.
How did you find out it was him?
So I'm at the white party this year. I go up to him. I walk right by him. I'm like, oh, what up, Joe? Nice to meet you. And then within 10 seconds, he's like, yo, you never responded to me. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I was like, no freaking way that was actually you, bro. I was like, I'm sorry. I apologize, man, because I love Joe Burrow.
Brown.
Because of Malcolm Brown text message, because someone got me. So when I was at the University of Arizona, they didn't allow me to host anyone.
Why?
Yeah, I hosted one player, and we got chased by a helicopter.
No, you didn't.
I swear.
What do you mean you got chased by a fucking helicopter?
That's where I want to leave it at. We got chased by a helicopter. I hid under a car. Yeah, and this recruit was running around with me. He was a top JUCO recruit. I thought I definitely sold him. I thought he was definitely coming to the University of Arizona.
He didn't?
No, he ended up going to Arizona State. Never seen him again. All of a sudden, I'm on the Patriots, 2016 or something. I don't know when. We signed some guy on the practice squad mid-season, a lineman. He comes up to me. He's like, yo, Gronk, remember me? And back in my mind, I'm like, I do, but I don't. Because I never seen him again. He left. After that night, he was gone and then chose Arizona State, big-time recruit. He's like, yeah, you hosted me at the University of Arizona. And then everything just started clicking. And I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, how you doing? How you doing? He's like, I'll remember that night for the rest of my life. But I can't believe he went to go be a devil.
Yeah, he can't set foot in Tucson anymore because the goddamn helicopter will chase him. He had to go to Arizona State. Have you seen his off-season workouts on YouTube?
Yeah, and I've actually worked out with him before. One time in Dallas, Texas. Yes, let me tell you, man, this guy don't get tired. I was with my brother, my two brothers, and we were just looking at his arms, and his arm was bigger than all three of our arms combined. That's why I don't understand how he doesn't weigh 280 pounds. I weigh 260 and he's 12 pounds less than me. And I'm like, but your arms are 3 times the size of mine. I think he's tricking everyone. I think he really is 280. But in Pop Warner, when they don't let you play in the league because you're overweight and you weigh in, I don't think the NFL would let him play if he weighs in at 280 at the running back position. So I think he literally is 280 because he's that big, but they just list him as 247. So he's actually qualified to play in the NFL.
Dude.
Yeah.
The first thing you look at, you say, damn, his arm's so big.
Yep.
And you're Rob Gronkowski.
Yep. It's the first thing I said. I was memorized.
David Mossey, he is going to recite each and every president?
Yes. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James Garfield, Chester Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden.
Mic drop.
Wow.
Pod's done. He found a flow in the middle there where he was just rapping them out.
He sped up there. And
Lyndon B. Johnson, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama.
Oh, my God,
Nice
I love
work.
you.
Bryce Young's a bust and he fucking stinks, so...
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Agree.
Disagree.
He's terrible.
He's bad.
Really bad.
He's
All right.
really bad.
He's had a bad year. Yeah, no, terrible year. Let me just give you some other quarterbacks who have had bad first years. Okay. Brett Favre. He took only 5 snaps in his rookie year. He threw 2 picks, 0 completed passes. Ended up getting traded. It was really 5 snaps, dude. That's
okay,
not
that's fine.
comparable.
No. By the way, 3 MVPs.
Veto.
Fine.
Steve Young, he played like half the season, 3 touchdowns and 8 picks, ended up winning 3 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs. Fine. Troy Aikman played 11 games. Which
Just
is
say
like
the
almost
main
a
one.
year.
Just say Peyton Manning.
Troy Aikman had 9 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, went on to win 3 Super Bowls, 6 Pro Bowls. Peyton Manning, 26 touchdowns, 28 picks.
Yeah, a lot of picks.
How about Terry Bradshaw?
How about him?
Played the whole year. One of the greatest quarterbacks ever. 4 Super Bowls, 1 MVP. 6 touchdowns, 24 interceptions his rookie year.
Okay.
Bryce Young is not a bust. Not yet.
He's a bust. He also, fun fact, only has 2 more touchdowns than Anthony Richardson, who stopped playing after week 4.
I think that system in Carolina is the most defunct offense ever. They're not giving him anything. That offensive line is remarkably bad.
Oh, fun fact about the offensive line.
Okay.
Today, their average throw time for Bryce Young, 3.41 seconds, 10th longest by any quarterback in a game this year.
Okay, not
10th
bad.
longest. 0 for 6 on pass attempts with over 4 seconds.
I don't blame Major League Soccer for leaning so heavily into Lionel Messi. This is a once in a generation, once maybe ever type of star. And, you know, it reminds me a little bit of the Jordan era with the NBA in the 90s, of where you're just having to rely so much on Michael Jordan to really drive the NBA forward and be that peripheral guy. Let's say they struggle like they did in MLS, and they do to begin the season. You know, is he going to be disgruntled? Is it going to become the 4 former Barcelona guys kind of, you know, huffing and puffing and not really putting as much effort in? So I think it's very important that that team gets off to a good start, to have an engaged Messi to create excitement.
I know that he's passed every test. He ran the sub 4.640 at his
Rushmore of LSU players. What would your 4 guys be?
My 4 guys would be Tyrann Mathieu, just what he was able to do.
full landing spot for him because of the fact that you have Kevin O'Connell and now Josh McCown in that quarterback's room that can bring along kind of a developmental prospect. At the same time, when you're talking about multiple knee surgeries and all that kind of stuff, that's enough to scare teams down to putting you in the next tier.
In the same year. Number 1, I know a lot of people don't know him, but he is the pioneer of LSU football. You're going to need YouTube to pull up his highlights, but Billy Cannon, the first Heisman Trophy winner in 1959, if I'm not mistaken.
For the Minnesota Vikings,
You
because
absolutely do.
we absolutely think that they could maybe be a candidate to take a quarterback in this draft. That is the sweet spot, I think, for the Minnesota Vikings then if they don't get their first choice.
Were you in the end zone after the punt return?
Yeah. Go see my guy.
Just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us.
You happy? I'm not happy. I'm happy. I'll be happy next. The other one. Happy. I know you're happy. I'm a little happy too. You're too old. You're too old.
If Tom asked Julian to be on the moon with 2 footballs, Julian would be there as soon as, whenever Tom said.
Let's go, baby. Why we play, baby?
Big debate is raging. Is it football or is it soccer? It's soccer. It's soccer, baby.
See, that's America right there. Like, see, we're gonna market it our way.
And so this is it. What dreams are made of, and they are the world champions again. Short of the ground, quick shot.
They are America's sweetheart.
Go!
Rapinoe gets the crossing. It's towards Wombat. Bobby Wombat has saved the USA's life in this World Cup.
Lovely ball, Morgan. Fabulous goal. Alex Morgan. Special finish from Alex Morgan in stoppage time at the end of the half.
Horan looking, cutting, shooting. Goal. Horan 2-0 US.
Ryman goal. 2-2.
How many times did you play for state time?
I got 3 rings. I went to state 3 times and got 3 rings.
MJ'd that thing.
Yeah. My first year, we didn't go though, because that's the year the West beat us in the playoffs when Melo caught that fade ball.
Yeah.
My freshman year.
Well, what was that like, handling that type of disappointment?
Oh
being
my
at
God.
Miami Central?
Oh my God.
Could you,
it broke
like,
my
you
heart.
came to school with a bag on your head? Like,
after that game, I'll never forget. I told myself I'm never losing again. I remember.
It turned out to be right.
Yeah.
I used to be a rapper back in the day.
You used to play it for me in the car.
Be like, what do you think of this? And mind you, I haven't done this since like freshman, sophomore year of high school, when I used to go by the rap name SPF 50. Bring your sunscreen because these bars be hot, I believe was the tagline. I don't know. Anywho.
You weren't even allowed in a bar.
We're in the truck and I would put the CD in, which takes like a few minutes to load. So I'd be like, pointing random things out. Like, oh, seagull. See that? CD would load, track 1 goes. It's me. She has no idea. I'm like, what do you think? And she's like nodding her head.
Yeah.
She's nodding her head. And then there's a line where I basically say my full name.
Yeah.
She's damn near singing at this point. Boom, here's my full name in the track.
And then that's all I could hear was like you. You know what I mean? Like prior to
Love
that.
it after that. Wasn't a big fan.
If we do the right things and manage it right, we get the support from the fans and the corporate community. I hope this community views it as a partnership, but I think it can be great. And I hope we can bring a championship here.
We are all Patriots, and tonight the Patriots are champions. This is unequivocally the sweetest.
I believe that LeBron James is the most unlucky all-time great of all time. So you have the most pressure that any 18-year-old has ever faced. He was then drafted into one of the most dysfunctional sports franchises in my life. His head coach for the first couple of years was the great Paul Silas. Then he had Mike Brown for 6 seasons, who's actually like a decent coach. He's the Kings coach now. He's all right, but he's no Phil Jackson. In 2007, LeBron, 22 years of age, LeBron James, carries this Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals. His second leading scorer was Larry Hughes. Decides to go to Miami, and he becomes the most hated player in sports. He actually has like a really nice stretch. This lasts only a total of 4 seasons. D-Wade breaks down physically, and so does Chris Bosh. Now, LeBron is at the peak of his powers at this point, and at the same time, on the other side of the country, the greatest offensive dynasty of all time just forms.
Yeah.
Because of course it does.
Yep.
These are not things Michael Jordan had to deal with.
No.
And by the way, during this time, his head coach is David Blatt, who coached Maccabi Tel Aviv previously. Amidst this, LeBron manages to beat the 73-9 Warriors in 2016. Then Kyrie, which is the closest thing he's had to a Pippen up until that point, and decides he randomly wants to leave. So he's left with nothing because he gets a player in Isaiah Thomas who cannot play.
He didn't even clear his physical, I don't think.
Yet in 2018, he makes the finals again. Well, so 8 straight finals amidst all that. Goes to LA, which is also a mess. This is a very dysfunctional Lakers organization. His head coach is Luke Walton, then Frank Vogel. He finally, through his own sheer force of will, acquires Anthony Davis. As everything's really going well, his first steady season in LA, a global pandemic happens.
Right, I remember that.
The league shuts down for the first time ever. Yet he wins a championship. AD has now since become probably the most injury-prone player in the league. And the best player on his team when Anthony Davis is hurt, which is most of the time, is probably Austin Reeves. And he's about to pass Kareem for the all-time scoring mark. Amidst all of the things I just mentioned, he is going to become the all-time leading scorer in the NBA.
And he just passed someone big for 3rd all-time assists. Top 15 in rebounds also, as a small forward.